Welcome to Motivational Humanity. You are not alone.
I've spent years studying human connection, why some relationships make us grow, and why others make us shrink. And I've learned something heartbreaking, but true control doesn't always show up as shouting or manipulation. Sometimes it hides behind sweet smiles and carefully chosen words. Controlling people don't always look controlling. They sound caring. They sound rational. They sound like they're just being honest. But underneath those words is the silent theft of your freedom. I remember once sitting with a woman after one of my talks. She waited until everyone else had left. She said quietly, "Brene, my mom keeps saying she's just trying to help me, but every time she helps, I feel smaller." And I could see it in her eyes, that mix of guilt and exhaustion that comes from being loved conditionally. "I'm just trying to help you." That phrase sounds innocent, right? It sounds kind. It even sounds like love. But sometimes it's not about love at all. It's about control. See, real help lifts you. It listens. It says, "Tell me what you need," or "How can I support you?" But controlling help has an agenda. It says, "Do it my way," or "You're not capable, let me handle it." It comes dressed up in concern, but underneath it's saying, "I don't trust you to make your own choices." And I get it. Many controlling people don't even realize what they're doing. They've convinced themselves that their interference is love. They think they're protecting you from mistakes. But what they're really doing is protecting their own comfort. Because if you grow, if you succeed, if you stand on your own 2 feet, they lose that feeling of being needed. And people who control often need to be needed. When I was younger, I thought setting boundaries against help made me ungrateful. I thought saying no to someone's guidance meant I was rejecting their love. But what I've learned is that boundaries aren't walls, they're doors. They don't shut people out. They teach them how to come in. And if someone's help only comes with strings, criticism, or guilt, you have every right to say, "I appreciate that you care, but I need to do this my way." That sentence, "I need to do this my way," is one of the most powerful declarations of self-worth you'll ever make. Because here's the truth, when people try to help you in ways that undermine your confidence, they're not supporting you. They're subtly scripting your story for you. And the moment you hand over your voice, your choices, your autonomy, you start disappearing from your own life. But the people who really love you, the ones who see your light, they'll let you stumble. They'll let you try. They'll say, "I believe in you. You've got this. And even if you fail, I'm here." That's what help should sound like. That's what love should feel like. So the next time someone says, "I'm just trying to help you," pause for a moment and ask yourself, does this help make me stronger, or does it make me doubt myself? And if the answer is doubt, that's not help. That's control. And you, my friend, have permission to take your power back. Let's talk about something that sneaks into so many conversations, often without warning. It's a phrase we've all heard at some point: "You're too sensitive." Or maybe it's disguised as "you take everything personally," or "you need to lighten up." And when those words hit, they can feel like a punch, not physically, but emotionally. I remember a story from a friend of mine. She was sharing an idea at work, something she had poured her heart into, and instead of being met with curiosity or interest, her colleague dismissed her concerns with, "Oh, you're just overreacting. You're too sensitive." She left that meeting shrinking inside herself. She questioned her feelings, she doubted her instincts. And by the time she got home, she almost believed she had done something wrong just for feeling what she felt. But here's the truth, that controlling people don't want you to see sensitivity is not a flaw. Feeling deeply, noticing subtleties, being aware of what's happening around you, that's strength. That's courage. That's humanity. When someone tells you you're too sensitive, what they're really doing is deflecting responsibility for their own behavior. They want you to silence yourself. They want you to minimize your own feelings so that they can maintain their comfort, their control, their sense of superiority. Suddenly, your valid emotions become a problem, and you start apologizing for existing the way you exist. And it doesn't just happen at work. It happens in families, in friendships, in romantic relationships. partners who say, "You're too sensitive," often mean, "Your feelings inconvenience me. Stop making me deal with them." Friends who dismiss your hurt are saying, "Your pain is a burden on me." And the world, unfortunately, rewards people who can mask their insensitivity as truth or objectivity. But let me be clear, your sensitivity is your superpower. It's what allows you to notice beauty, to empathize with others, to stand up for what's right. Without sensitivity, there's no compassion, no art, no courage. People who belittle your feelings are afraid of that strength because it makes them accountable. And accountability is scary for someone trying to control you. So the next time you hear, "You're too sensitive," pause. Don't internalize it. Don't shrink. Don't apologize for being alive in a world that often mistakes quiet strength for weakness. Instead, remind yourself that feeling deeply doesn't make you fragile. It makes you human. And humanity, in its rawest form, is powerful beyond measure. And here's the kicker. The more you embrace your sensitivity, the less control others have over you. They can't shame what you own. They can't silence what you feel. And they certainly can't take from you the courage it takes to live openly and fully. Your feelings matter. Your perspective matters. And being sensitive is not something you fix. It's something you protect, nurture, and honor. Let's pause for a moment and talk about one of the most dangerous phrases in human relationships. "If you really loved me," I want you to let that sink in for a second. If you really loved me, it sounds almost like love, doesn't it? Like maybe someone is testing you, checking to see if your heart is strong enough. But here's the truth, it's not a test of love, it's a test of obedience. I remember speaking with a woman who had been in a long-term relationship where this phrase came up all the time. "If you really loved me, you'd give up that job for me. If you really loved me, you'd spend more time with my family. If you really loved me, you'd never question me." And every time, she felt herself shrinking just a little bit. She started questioning whether her own desires, her own dreams, even her own identity were compatible with love. Here's the thing, love should never require conditions. Real love doesn't say, "I will only value you if you do this for me." Real love invites freedom. It encourages growth. It doesn't demand you erase pieces of yourself to make someone else feel safe. When someone uses, "If you really loved me," they are trying to control your behavior by tying it to your worth in their eyes. They are essentially saying, "Your love is only valid if it meets my needs." And the irony is that the more you give, the more they want, because it's never about connection. It's about power. And let's be honest, this isn't just in romantic relationships. Parents do it. Friends do it. Colleagues do it. Anyone who wants to manipulate you without looking like a manipulator. They're tying your love, your loyalty, your authenticity to their expectations, and suddenly, your natural human freedom starts feeling like rebellion. The most courageous thing you can do in that moment is to recognize it for what it is. It's not love. It's fear disguised as love. Fear that they might not be the center of your world. Fear that you might step into your power. Fear that your heart might expand beyond the limits they've set. And here's the beautiful truth. When you step back from that manipulation, when you choose to love without conditions and without fear, you free yourself. You reclaim your heart, your choices, and your life. Because love that asks you to shrink, love that demands your obedience, love that makes you compromise your authenticity, that's not love. That's control. You deserve relationships where love is an invitation, not a test, where saying no doesn't break the bond, and where your desires, your dreams, your boundaries are honored. That is real love. That is courageous love. That is the kind of love that sets you free. And when you finally see the difference between fear disguised as love and love that truly sees you, it changes everything. Because suddenly, the people who try to control you will lose their power. And you will stand taller, stronger, and more whole than ever before. I want to talk about another phrase that's deceptively heavy. "You owe me after all I've done for you." It sounds so reasonable on the surface, doesn't it? Like someone is just reminding you of their generosity, their sacrifices, the time and energy they've invested in you. And for a moment, you feel guilty, like maybe you do owe them something. And that's exactly how it works. That guilt is the lever that controlling people use to bend us to their will. I remember speaking with a woman who had spent years caring for a partner, always going above and beyond, making sacrifices, keeping peace. And yet, the more she gave, the more was expected of her. Nothing she did seemed enough. And when she tried to set boundaries, to say, I need space, I need rest, I need to care for myself, she was met with, after everything I've done for you, how can you be so selfish? Do you hear what's happening there? It's not gratitude. It's not even love. It's control dressed as kindness. It's an attempt to keep you tethered to their expectations and make you feel indebted, even if that debt was never real. Generosity that comes with a ledger is not generosity. It's a transaction. And when relationships become transactional, we start losing ourselves. We start calculating how much we owe someone instead of asking ourselves what we truly need. We start measuring love, care, and friendship in numbers instead of feelings, and slowly, piece by piece, our boundaries erode. And here's something I want you to hear tonight. You don't owe anyone your peace. You don't owe anyone your voice. You don't owe anyone your self-respect. Gratitude and guilt are not the same thing. Gratitude says, thank you for your care, I appreciate it. Guilt says, I must comply, or else I'm a bad person. The courage it takes is enormous. Saying no to someone who claims you owe them something can feel like rebellion. It can feel ungrateful, but it's actually an act of bravery. It's saying, I see what you're doing. I will not let you control me with guilt. And here's the most beautiful part: when you stop living in debt to other people's expectations, you start living in alignment with your own truth. You start giving because it feels good, not because someone has a tally sheet. You start loving because it's real, not because someone is holding your heart hostage. The moment you reclaim your right to say no, even to someone who's done so much for you, is the moment you start living freely. That's when you start building relationships based on respect, not obligation. That's when you begin to understand that love, generosity, and care are not about who owes what to whom. They're about connection, empathy, and mutual respect. So the next time someone tries to make you feel guilty with, after all I've done for you, pause. Take a deep breath. Remind yourself your life, your boundaries, your peace, and your heart are not negotiable. And you have every right to protect them. There's one more phrase I want to talk about tonight. One that's quietly cruel but devastatingly effective. No one else would put up with you. Think about that for a moment. Let it sink in. No one else would put up with you? It's a sentence that's meant to isolate you. It's meant to make you believe that the only person who could tolerate your quirks, your flaws, your emotions, is the very person who is slowly controlling you. And when you believe it, you start to question yourself. You start to doubt your worth. You start to fear the idea of being alone because somehow you've been convinced that no one else could possibly accept you. I remember hearing from a woman who had been in a relationship for years where this phrase was a constant shadow over her life. Every time she wanted to set a boundary, every time she wanted to pursue her dreams, she would hear it in her mind, echoing like a dark drum. No one else would put up with you. And over time, she began to shrink. She stopped expressing herself. She stopped asking for what she needed. She stopped dreaming. She began to believe that being controlled was better than being alone. But here's the truth. And it's a truth that can set you free. That sentence is a lie. It's not about reality. It's about fear. The fear of the controlling person losing their hold over you. The fear of facing a world where you might stand on your own. The fear that they're no longer the center of your world. The right people, the people who truly belong in your life, will never use fear as a tool to manipulate you. They will never make you feel like your worth depends on their tolerance. They will see your light, they will honor your boundaries, and they will love you for the fullness of who you are, not the parts they are willing to tolerate. And here's the most radical part: the moment you stop believing that lie, the moment you recognize it for what it is, manipulation, you take back your power. You start to stand taller. You start to speak louder. You start to remember who you are, because you are not here to be endured. You are here to be celebrated. Let me be very clear, being alone is not a punishment. It's a chance to reconnect with yourself. It's a chance to rediscover your voice, your strength, your value. And when you do that, you'll attract the people who see you as a gift, not a burden. You'll stop giving your energy to those who try to cage you and start giving it to those who lift you. So the next time someone whispers, "No one else would put up with you," or the echo of that phrase creeps into your mind, pause, take a deep breath, and remind yourself, there are people who will love you without strings, without manipulation, without control. There are people who will celebrate your boundaries, who will honor your feelings, and who will never try to make you feel like your worth depends on them. And the most beautiful, empowering truth of all is this: you don't need anyone to put up with you. You are enough, always have been, always will be. And when you finally believe that, you step into a freedom and a power that no controlling person can ever take away from you. So tonight, I want to leave you with this: words can heal, but they can also quietly enslave. Pay attention to how you feel when someone speaks to you. If you feel smaller, quieter, or constantly wrong, that's not communication, that's control. And the most radical act of courage you can take is this: to trust your gut, to walk away from conversations that bruise your spirit, and to choose, again and again, the kind of love that lets you breathe. Because you are not here to be controlled. You are here to be free. And freedom, my friends, is the language of the brave. Thank you.